Welcome to School's Out 80s. Oh my gosh, we need to laugh and have fun. It's the 1980s. Reagan is president. Ketchup is a vegetable. Madonna is on top of the pop charts. Michael Jackson is both king and thriller. Movies are $3. Van Halen are the monsters of rock. Russia is the enemy and James Bond is the man. TVs are furniture, and MTV is playing all day long. This was a time of people coming together, families and friends, to have a good time and enjoy each other's company. You didn't stare at your cell phone. You told jokes, you cut up, you hugged, you danced, you celebrated life. Our show is going to take you back in time. The stories, the funny stories you don't want to forget. Life is short, so Leanne and I are here to entertain you. This show is clean, not crude. No real names are used, and we want to share our funny stories with you so you can share your funny stories with us. Again, welcome to School's Out 80s.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fourth episode of School's Out 80s. Really special guest here today. Comes to us all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. His name is Todd Crabtree. Say hello, Todd.
Hello, everybody. Hello, John and Leanne. Thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Great to have you. Leanne, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody from Birmingham, England.
Awesome. And I'm here from Dallas, Texas. And so without further ado, we're going to kind of kick things off. And Todd Crabtree is going to share some stories with you. I want to give you a little quick background on Todd, though. So Todd and I, we were in the same fraternity at University of Missouri. We got a lot of good stories coming to you regarding some of those times that we spent at the University of Missouri together. And we've known each other 35 years. So for you youngsters out there, there's hope. Kind of cool. So, well, that's awesome. We got to come up with one other really good story, Todd, from our college days. I told the one about the guy who evidently, I don't know how it happened, Todd, but he went from sleeping in his bed to being in the front lawn of a sorority. No idea how that happened.
Who that would have been, but
we don't have to mention any names. We'll just say the gentleman, a really good friend. He has red hair, and I'm trying to remember, but he used to be on the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, of course, yes, yeah, I know, brother.
World famous.
Yeah.
He's in film and television now.
Yeah, he's quite an icon in his own right.
He was sleeping in his bed, and at one point he was sleeping in the sorority front lawn.
I do recall affectionately when maybe I don't recall so much, but on my 21st birthday, I went out. And, it's the rite of passage when you turn 21, obviously, to go to all the bars, and then. Although I'll caveat it by saying, I had gotten into bars since I was 18 because one of the fraternity brothers looked a lot like me and handed me a driver's license. So that got me into the bars.
But you look like Val Kilmer. That's what got you into the bars. They thought you were Val Kilmer.
That's what got me in there. I had the Val Kilmer / Ivan Drago from Rocky IV, haircut. So I was far more intimidating a figure than just your average 18-year-old kid. So, but 3 years went by, and I think only one time was I denied access to any of these establishments. And it was funny when I turned 21. I handed the bouncer who had been the bouncer for 3 years at this bar called the Field House my real ID, and he kind of looked at me. He's like, "Well, son of a gun." It's like so I we got in there legit, and then you go out with your friends, and they're obviously indulging you and buying you whatever drink you want, and a lot of the ones you don't, but you just go ahead and suck it up, and but yeah, so I turned 21.
Literally, I guess, Leanne. I guess they really sucked it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's several iconic bars in Columbia, Missouri, that we would rotate in and out of, and the primary reason is John and I think are economists by nature. So you're looking for
I thought
the
you
most
might bring up
value.
the economist situation that was going on. So Leanne, you know this already from your university studies. So economics is all about supply and demand. And also, when you think of supply and demand, you have to think of the variables of supply and demand. And one of those is price. And if you have a limited number of resources, the way you draw that limited number of resources, i.e. kids in college without very much money, is you lower price, which increases demand. So with that, Todd, tell Leanne how much we were paying back then for a pitcher of beer.
We paid $1 for a pitcher of beer.
Are you hearing that, Leanne? $1 for a pitcher of beer.
I mean, I can imagine
in 85.
If I could get a pitcher of beer for $1, I think I would be extremely drunk if I could get a pitcher of beer for $1.
You think you could commit to the habit if you could get one for $1?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, because I'm a motivational guy, and in order to be successful, you have to focus. So, Todd, tell us about your business.
Yeah,
your real
John,
estate business.
Thanks for asking that. So I decided to go into real estate sales, do some consulting work earlier in this year. It's kind of it really started off as a part-time thing, and for me to be able to build a bridge kind of into my post corporate life, if you will. I do think it's going to be a fruitful endeavor, and one of the things with being in a fraternity and being in a large educational institution, you meet a lot of people that become lifelong friends, just like you and I, John, have
sure.
forged a lifelong friendship. So there's a lot of things that can be leveraged with those friendships and sort of build out that circle of influence. But that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm in the residential sales space and do some tax consulting and just kind of broadening my overall portfolio, if you will, of services. So it's been an exciting start to this. The real estate market is just white hot right now. So
great, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's it can be said for a lot of the major cities, across the U.S. So, but thanks for giving the opportunity to talk about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Leanne, tell us about your comedy endeavors. You're out gigging right now. How's that going?
Yeah, so we're allowed to gig again now. So we wasn't allowed to gig for a long time. It was all online. So now I'm actually out there with a microphone in my hand on the stage, which is absolutely brilliant.
And you're a professional comedian, right?
To Brighton, so yeah. So and we've got our own show coming up in June, by the seaside. So we've got a 3-day show coming up, and I'm just so excited to do some real live comedy because
cool.
Hearing audience interaction is just so much better in real life. You can't get a feel for it online. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. So we're excited. So I'll put in a quick little blurb about me. So my name's John Sales Warrior, and I've been professionally selling for 31 years. Which means you as the listener, if you're wanting to learn how to professionally sell, I'm the guy that can help you. So how can I help you? I have a course on Teachable called Sales Warrior Module 1. So it has over 5.5 hours of professional sales mental skills, because that's how sales are won. It's going to happen in your mind before it happens on paper. And then to accompany that, I have a book on Amazon by the same name, Sales Warrior. And it's all about you got to put in the work and build yourself up. And as a motivational speaker too, I'll just say that how you get somewhere in life is going to happen by putting together a written plan and putting in the work. There's no magical tickets. How famous people become famous and how successful people become famous is having a good plan and working hard and smart. And with that said, it's just been wonderful today. Todd, to have you on. Leanne, always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much. I know it's late in England right now, and we appreciate you, jumping on the bandwagon with us.
It's 6 p.m. Yeah,
okay,
it's 6
so not
p.m. So
too
I was
late.
just